What's happening, fellas? I'm here with Kenny Jr. Just giving you guys an update on where we're at on the roof repairs. We actually have a local roofing company that's replacing the back part of the roof on the big building here due to some storm damage. This one was done like 15 years ago, so it's one of the better roofs. In addition to this one was done 2013, 10 years ago. We put a brand new roof on that one. We haven't gotten to the big building yet. That's a major project there. That's a multi-million-dollar project, but this building is done. And in order to maintain the investment, we have to do the required maintenance and repair this and replace this thing. It's called a cricket, the part that connects the two buildings there on the back and in the front. So the roof was leaking, and we have these containers that catch the water here, but you can see the water has been running down and damaging the new floors. They're not really new. They're actually from 1814, but we had restored them and repaired them. But we'll go down to the lower level here. We had to rent this giant lift right here to do it because they're going up like 60 feet. This is a fourth floor where it was leaking through. You can see the water damage here. This is actually new flooring here. And these buckets were filling up and overflowing during storms. And sadly, all the brand new flooring that we put in 10 years ago, and the roof had rotted and failed. So we're replacing this cricket back here so that no further damage is done, because that's the worst thing for a building is water damage, especially a mill that's 200 built in 1814. So this front cricket, which is brand new right here, this was put in 2008. This is leaking too, so we're going to be doing some repairs in the front here also. This is a stair tower in the front of the building. You can see the original beams in here, which are 1814. Those are the only components left from this tower that are original. We methodically replaced every single piece and somehow built it in place and left the original beam structure there per the State Historic Parks Office, because this building is on the National Registry of Historic Places, so we have to keep it as original as humanly possible. To quote Shippo, I think the original fibers and everything else have to be maintained, but there's a lift. You can see it's a long way down, 4 stories. We got the compressor here for the roofing nails, and they're up there 4 stories doing their repairs. What's going on, guys? Making the magic happen. So that's our major concern right there, is that roof. Last year when we had a storm, this other big building back here, sadly this building's too far gone. This is going to have to get dismantled. There were originally 11 buildings here. This one's too far gone. 2 had collapsed when we got here. They were on the ground and we had to fix them. So we just wanted to give you guys an update on the roof projects. This is and anybody who's contributed at all, buying raffle tickets, donating to the museum, any way that you've helped, we really appreciate your help. Those that, when we had the skylights blow off, we did a fundraiser last year, raised $27,000, and we replaced the skylights and patched that roof to keep that building tight. But it does need a complete roof replacement, which is going to cost about $150,000 if we can do it. It's a 4-story building. It's massive. If we can do it with shingles, if we do it with slate, it's going to be more. It depends on if the State Historic Parks Office gets involved. But Junior, you've been working with Congressman Courtney and Sean Gately from the town Department of Economic Development. What's going on? Because we had a grant, a $500,000 grant check that was.
So Joe Courtney and everyone working down in his office, we had a huge win getting that earmark to Joe's district. Joe was born in Rockville here. He's a Rockville local, and that was a huge win. But what we didn't know is sort of our first go around. The federal money is very difficult to achieve. There's a lot of red tape. It's very nuanced. And what we found, well, we're heavily invested into this, just working through the grant agreement and more environmental studies and lots of meetings and trying to figure out what needs to be done in order to secure that grant money. And well, long story short, it's been over a year of working on it hard, a few hours a week, and we still don't have access to the funds. And there's some mitigation items that need to be found out first that seem basically impossible. But
we just wanted to clarify to you guys in a nutshell, Junior, right, that the money is supposedly earmarked for the project, but we don't have access to it due to, you had written an email to somebody that explained in terms I think that everybody could stand. Do you remember exactly what that was? I think it was right now those goals are unobtainable. to us, so we can't access the funds. Is that a good way to?
That's right. There's a list of mitigation items, including some of the environmental items. The project's eligible. Well, actually, we thought that we were eligible for EPA funding for the cleanup.
That's we spent 2 years with the with Yukon. Yeah,
we're talking tens of thousands of dollars in payroll and time spent
out of our pocket.
Out of our pocket to try and gain access to these funds, but for
the environmental cleanup, because this is a smokestack and there's coal ash in the ground here, we spent millions in environmental cleanup in the last 13 years. Underground oil tanks, PCV transformers, lead, arsenic, just all kinds of asbestos, all kinds of chemicals that you'd find in a abandoned factory. This was a brownfield when we got here, and still is listed on the it's close to being off the brownfield list because of all the remediations we've done. The underground oil tanks are gone, the PCB transformers, the arsenic, lead, most all of it's gone. So, but there's still a fair amount of cleanup to do. This building's got to come down and be taken out. That's massive building, and we think the rest of the buildings can be rescued. But the problem is, it costs more to restore these old buildings than they're actually worth by a substantial amount. So it's definitely a labor of love. We've been in Rockville since I was in 1973 when I was 8 years old. We moved here. So
I wanted to take just a quick second to thank everyone that's been helping us out. Although we haven't been successful in securing any federal money, the town of Sean Gately with the town of Vernon, everyone from Joe Courtney's office, and including Julia McGrath specifically, and Nefelli with the Yukon Brownfields program. We have a lot of people that have been sort of hard charging to try and help us out secure the funds, but it's been a lot of, I guess this video is for us to show you guys that, well, we're working on it, but
we're moving forward.
Successful.
Yeah, we're moving forward slowly. That we're paying for these roof repairs with monies raised through the sales of motorcycles, raffle tickets, and any donations we might have received over the years. Anybody who has helped out the museum, we do appreciate your support, whether it's moral support or financial support.
And, Jim Byrne from EPA, who's been super positive and enthusiastic about the project and trying to be helpful. We have some roadblocks that are holding us back. I think we're still hopeful at this point, but it's been a long road. It's super frustrating, actually.
I think clarifying that last year there was a video that was on Channel 6 News with Congressman Courtney about the $500,000 grant. So just clarifying, you guys, we have not got that money. We're not sure if we ever will. It's earmarked but not available. So in our world, that money doesn't exist yet. But it does exist, and it's earmarked, and someday we might get it, but I'm not dealing in some days. I'm dealing with my freaking roofs leaking right here, and my buildings are falling apart. I'm doing my best to maintain them. When we came here, this was an abandoned, looked like an abandoned city in the Aztec jungle. There were trees growing out of everything. There was 20 homeless families living here in tents and having fires in the buildings, and raccoons, and 100 dumpsters of garbage, and we spent 10 years cleaning this up. And from the street view, all the buildings are totally tightened up, and we spent $7.5 million getting the museum building and the 65,000 square foot of buildings dialed in. But there's a lot of work to go, and there's a lot of maintenance here. We appreciate everyone's support. We got a long way to go. We're just taking it one day at a time. This is walking out to the street view. You can see everything is dialed in the front here. So you can see the front of the building. This building this is 45,000 square foot. It was $5.4 million to completely restore this building. If you've been in it, you know that every single nut and bolt from the granite foundation to the tip of the cupola is restored to like new. Junior, you want to add some of the verbiage to?
I think we wanted to talk about a little bit about the mitigation items that are holding us back. You want to cut for a second, Pops?
Guys, these mitigation things defy explanation, but we're going to try to, in other words, the goals that we need to obtain to get this earmarked money. Let me focus in now. About a quarter mile down the street there's an oil tank. See that blue oil tank? It's right on the banks of the Hockenham River. It's been there for 30 years.
It's an oil tank. Oil doesn't have like a blast point. There's no blast risk, but they want, HUD specifically, and we're trying to get this exempted. HUD, they want us to build a wall around that oil tank over there. A few other things, because it's
One more time, they want you to build a wall around an oil tank you don't own a quarter mile down the street.
with
A blast wall
with residential buildings in between,
which is completely unreasonable.
In the
and it's not even our property. They probably wouldn't let us.
So they're working on that. I think that there may be a workaround. There's no code that states that there needs to be a wall built around it, but it's federal monies, and this is just another one of those items. So additionally, the State Historic Preservation Office, SHPO, the like materials thing they want, because it's federal monies, they have control, and they can dictate. Well, instead of putting $100,000,
$150,000. Be clear.
Okay.
$150,000.
Putting a $150,000
roof on this massive building.
Asphalt roof on this building. They want us to rebuild an original slate, which will be upwards of 4 times that amount. Which we can't afford. So.
What you're saying is that, and the truth is, to replace this roof with slate, which no one uses anymore because the State Historic Parks Office wants it to be original, just like the windows on this building, they're all wood on the inside and outside. 287 windows cost us on average $1,200 each instead of $300 for modern windows. 4 times the cost to make this 100% original restoration. So, now if we do that on here, that $150,000 roof is now $500,000. So the $500,000 grant would be spent just doing this roof.
We wouldn't be able to. Whereas in the original scope, if this was asphalt, we could do all the roofs.
We could do this roof. We could do that roof back there. We could have patched this one and done the one in the back. We could have done them all for $500,000. But if it has to be slate, which is a ridiculous standard,
to be fair, SHPO has programs where there's additional grant funds available for a project like this, where it would be ran over budget because of the regulations. But it's a tough path to get there. And this is if we're talking if we can obtain the earmarked funds. So. And the last item would be the environmental remedial action plan, which we've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on the environmental so far, but those studies are dated. It has to be redone, and there's also some issues. We'll spare you the gory details.
Yeah, these environmental surveys are only good for 6 months, so you can spend tens of thousands of dollars doing a phase 1 environmental study, and we've been all the way to phase 3, and we've been all the way to the remedial action plan. But since time has elapsed, you got to kind of start over. Is that correct?
Exactly. So there's some weird eligibility items that are disqualifying us from getting EPA funding. But there's a workaround. But and we have some great folks that are helping us out. And we think it's just that everything takes forever. And there, you have to go through so many people. And there's a lot of really talented, qualified people that are working on the project. But it's not going to make. There's only so much we can do to speed things up. So what we have right now is it's going to be at least a few years to obtain the grant funds, and when we do, because of the requirements of the State Historic Preservation Office, the funds won't stretch as far as we would have originally liked. But that's part of the game, and that's what we've come to find. These projects are not for the faint of heart, not even close.
It's a massive investment that takes a lifetime. I've got close to 15 years into this, 13 anyways so far, of every red cent I could get my hands on. Went into these buildings for over 10 years, and we're kind of at a just at a doing maintenance stage. We can't really move forward with the rest of it.
So I gotta go, guys.
We got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I got a customer waiting up there for me.
So we're gonna head back in, but we just wanted to share with you where we're at on the building repairs and remediation and rebuilding. It's a long road to hoe. There are no shortcuts. We only do things one way. That's the right way, and we've held a pretty high standard ourselves of the quality of the materials we've used. But it's been somewhat exasperated by the standards to achieve certified historic restoration, i.e., wood windows inside, outside. Keeping the materials all the same, building with materials that aren't really used anymore in modern construction, which means they're extremely expensive, but we'll get there. Come visit the museum. We're open Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 10 to 3:30. The shop's open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We're here pretty much all the time, but we try to keep the visitation, so to speak, during those periods so we can get some freaking work done. Because I'm frankly working 70, 80 hours a week trying to keep the motorcycle shop going and the buildings maintained and the 11 acres here. I also own a 52-acre farm property. The compound's on up in Tolland, so got my hands in tied up with a lot of different projects. We maintain the land. We own I bought this side of the road over here, this parking lot from bridge to bridge, including the waterfall, and we own the water rights to the other side of the river. We own this land over here, a total 11 acres. We've landscaped all this, and there's a house on the hill there, the Bixby house you see in the videos all the time. That blue house up there, that was pretty much abandoned and in disrepair. It was owned by the Historic Society, and they didn't have any money to fix it, so we bought it off of them at I don't know, 10 years ago, and restored that. So that building's done. The grounds have been completely landscaped, and the museum is dialed in. We've got the gas dealership, we've got Kaplan Cycles, buy-sell trade business, and we have the New England Motorcycle Museum as tenants here. We had some buildings rented in the back for storage, but that tenant had to vacate because we couldn't meet the fire code standard without spending way more money than it would have been worth. Moses, how you doing today?
By the grace of the Almighty.
You're looking good, brother.
How about yourself?
Very good, good. Now, you were the first person I met when I came here. I like to say you came with the property because I came to town, I met you. You're my first friend here. Yep. And you've been with us how many years now? Since 2000, so it's what, 2010, so 13 years.
Yeah, for 13 years. Yeah.
And we got that video of you walking downstairs saying what the place could be. And then, remember Kenny did that video, before and after video?
Yeah.
So how's everything going today?
Oh, by God's grace, I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
You look like the president of Gas, my man. Look at you, you're all styling. You're looking really good.
Thank God, man.
How's our birds doing?
They're doing great.
Oh, my friend Tommy D said he wants baby birds, so hopefully they're gonna have some babies. He wants he has a farm and he wants to put some doves on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wants at least 2. So hopefully they'll have babies.
Yeah, I saw that the eggs were 2, but I saw only 1 this morning.
Well,
But,
thanks for
they will hatch for more.
keeping the place running a tight ship here. Appreciate it. Come see Moses. He'll be running the museum Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 3.
Yeah.
Right, Moses?
Come on down. Come on down.
Amen. Thanks, Moses. So now I got to get back to doing what we do to keep this place alive. It's certainly not ticket sales, that's for damn sure, because that barely covers electricity, the revenues from the museum. But we sold 680 bikes last year, $3.6 million in sales. That's a lot of motorcycles and a lot of parts, but we do probably the most diverse collection of motorcycles restored of anybody in the world, I think. Turbo Hondas, CBRs, 2-strokes, classic Suzukis, classic Harleys. Just go on our YouTube channel and go back over the next 6 months. You'll see the variety of bikes, Harleys, Montesas, pretty much everything A to Z. I've often said we're the largest motorcycle restoration, have become the largest motorcycle restoration shop in the country, and no one's ever challenged me, and nor do I know of anybody else online or otherwise that has this volume and diversity of bikes coming through, nor a staff of 21 full-time pros. We've got some real vets on the team here, like Bill Kelly. This is his bench. He's 60-something years old. I've been working with him since I was 18 in the motorcycle industry. At a Suzuki shop, we started there. But this is the Manic Mechanic doing a 6-cylinder CVX. There's very few shops that can even do that kind of work. Manic Mechanic's making the magic happen. It's Friday and the guys are all at lunch. That's why they're not in here. But this is the Wizards. This is my personal hill climb CR500 that Wizards getting ready for the next race. Bill's making the magic happen on that Montesa. Vintage Harleys. Here's an XR650R Honda. KDX 200. Just a really diverse collection of bikes. We haven't done this one yet, but I heard there's only one of them, so who knows? Maybe we'll end up doing that one too. There's been no issue with selling the motorcycles we restore. They all sell within a week or two, sometimes before they're even finished. The people call and say they want to buy them. The problem is getting enough bikes done because, well, it takes a lot of time, and it's hard to find skilled guys like the guys on our team that are making the magic happen. There's a nice Husky we just finished, and a V65 Sabre. Putting up the XLCR for sale. I said I might not, but I have to. Same thing as the FXR. So they're going to be going up this weekend, guys. So if you've been looking for a Primo one or a CR, give us a call. We are an authorized gas dealer also. So if you're looking for a new gas, give us a call. There's rebates on all the 23s right now. I $1,500 to $2,000 rebates. So now's the time to riding season's upon us. We even have 2 of the brand new Barsha edition gases in stock, and there's only 2 per dealer. Once these are gone, we can't get any more. It's the factory edition. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting us. And as always, God bless the United States of America.